This is Our View, the television voice of the Washington Federation of State Employees, 100% union proud. The University of Washington has announced it is considering shutting down the laundry that serves both the campus and UW-Medicine. The work would then be contracted out. While the university mostly just looks at budget numbers, the number of families left with an uncertain future is over 120. Those workers, however, are letting the UW administration know they will not go quietly away and are holding petition drives, appeals to the community leaders, and campus rallies.
We're here to ask for everybody's support to not to close the laundry, please. Because I have a kid to go for college this year. So if they close it, I don't know where do I get the money to send him.
We're working hard. Everybody is really working hard. And at the same time, it shouldn't be really closing the laundry. And at the same time, we're asking, this is the public laundry. It should be open forever. Thank you.
Seems like nothing to UW. They don't care about people, care about money. They don't care about us, about the benefit, about the kid or the families. We have a lot of things to support. Please, we need help, guys, to support us. Thank you. Open our job. Thank you very much.
What we're gonna do if they lay us off and we don't have no medical or anything?
I'm here also to say I think this is another action in the university to take away union jobs. And we need to try to stop this action from happening.
We are here for the same reason. Everybody working for living, right? Yeah. So we have to continue working. We need a laundry open. We need to support our family, right? Yeah. Thank you so much.
We have 2 boys to raise and a mortgage to pay. And that says a lot of things about that. If we are displaced, what we gonna do?
Hello everybody, my name is Alyssa. I'm a junior here at the University of Washington and also a member of UW's United Students Against Sweatshops. I have some questions for the University of Washington's administration. When will the University of Washington start making decisions for students and workers who make the success of this university possible? When will the university stop viewing working class members of our community as disposable? Why is the University of Washington's administration comfortable with ruining the lives of working class immigrants, women, and people of color for the sake of balancing a budget without taking a hit to their own salaries, many of which are hundreds and thousands of dollars? As students, we cannot be complicit with these unacceptable actions. Universities, after all, are made for us. As students, we are future leaders in our community. We must begin to take action now when we see our university engage in these insidious neoliberal practices. Because this university is made for us, they should listen to us.
We're awaiting a decision from the United States Supreme Court in a case that has targeted public employee unions. It's called the Janus case. Recently, AFSCME President Lee Saunders and Senator Bernie Sanders discussed the motivations of the plaintiff in the case and just who's behind it.
Why do the Koch brothers and the other powerful special interests want to destroy public unions in America? What's in it for them?
Well, they want to have more wealth and power at the expense of working people who are trying to play by the rules every single day. The Janus case is about one thing. It's about wealthy special interests trying to rig the economy against working people. AFSCME is a union of 1.6 million public service workers who never quit. We are bus drivers, sanitation workers, social workers, emergency medical technicians, and more. We work in your schools, your libraries, your courthouses, and your correctional facilities.
If public employees do not have the ability to engage in serious collective bargaining, what's going to happen to wages for millions of people, do you think?
It's going to have an impact, number one, on our members, but secondly, it will have an impact on not only public sector unions, but private sector unions, because they're going to come after them next. Despite the important work we do, the big corporations and their political cronies continue to attack us. In state after state, they've spent millions to gut our collective bargaining rights and steal our voice. And now with the Janus case, they're using the Supreme Court to roll back our freedoms. You've also got to remember this, Senator, that everything that we have done to promote economic fairness, to negotiate wages, to protect workers, that trickles down to people who aren't even involved in unions, who are no longer members or not members of unions. Janus versus AFSCME was argued in the court in late February, with a decision expected by June. If the ruling goes against us, the entire public sector will go right to work in one fell swoop, making it harder for workers, especially women and people of color, to get a fair shake. This would overturn a 40-year precedent that has been affirmed many times by lower courts.
Why should somebody who's watching this, who doesn't belong to a union, why should they care about this Supreme Court decision on Janus?
Well, because it's going to be an attack on them, it's going to be an attack on their families, and it will hurt them in the pocketbook. The plaintiff in this case, who has the financial backing of corporate-funded right-wing groups, is making a bogus argument. He claims that his First Amendment rights are violated by contributing to the cost of negotiating contracts that he benefits from. The truth is that no one is forced to join a union, and no one is compelled to pay for political activities. The other side isn't making a legal argument at all. They're launching a political attack. What motivates them isn't freedom of speech, it's contempt for working families.
It will hurt them economically because there's nobody there able to negotiate decent wages. It's going to be a race to the bottom.
We offer the checks and balances in a system where we have a seat at the table right now to negotiate wages, to negotiate benefits, to have economic justice in this country. They're trying to take that all away from us. They have admitted that their goal is to, quote, defund and defang public sector unions, to drive a stake through our hearts and finish us off for good.
The trade union movement in this country is probably the last line of defense against an extremely reactionary corporate agenda, which ultimately wants to cut or privatize Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, make it harder for kids to be able to get federal assistance to go to college, do away with environmental protection. You decimate the trade union movement. Who's going to stop that agenda?
If we decimate the trade union movement, then there's nobody to stand in their way. They're in for a fight because we will defend our freedoms. The freedom to make a decent living and retire in dignity. The freedom to live in a vibrant community. The freedom to build power in numbers and stand together in a strong union.
So my point is, you don't have to be a member of AFSCME or SEIU or NEA or AFT. You just got to be an ordinary working person in this country. And maybe you're worried about affordable housing. Well, these are the guys who have been fighting for years to build affordable housing. Maybe you're worried that your kid can't afford to go to college. These are the people who are helping to lead the effort that says that in America we're going to make college affordable for every family. And whether you're on Medicare or Medicaid or Social Security, it is the trade union movement, perhaps more than any other entity in this country, that's standing up fighting for you. So if these people are decimated and their power is gone, their ability to negotiate, their ability to be involved in politics, if that's removed, then you're going to look at corporate America moving rapidly to decimate virtually every social program that means anything to working families in this country. That's why this decision is so important.
As Governor Jay Inslee recently signed into law several labor bills, he brought up the Janus case and outlined the harm it poses for not only public workers, but public services as well.
Many of the bills I will sign today strengthen our public sector unions at no better time than now, because we really are at a unique juncture in our history. In what could be one of the most significant worker rights cases of our lifetime, the U.S. Supreme Court is being asked to overturn a time-tested standard, a successful standard, that has protected public employees' right to collectively bargain for wages and benefits for decades. Janus, the case name that is in front of the Supreme Court, is the latest attempt to undermine and destroy public sector unions. If the case succeeds, it would be a giveaway to powerful special interests and a significant setback for struggling American middle-class families. unions would still be obligated to represent all the employees in their work unit. And those people will no longer be obligated to pay their fair share for those benefits, which threatens the financial viability of unions. Overturning the Abood decision threatens the right of public employees to collectively bargain because it guts the financial mechanism to do so. So this is simply a statement of fairness, that people ought to be treated fairly and expected to pull their weight if they're being benefited by public unions. And I'm glad to be signing these bills today to do what we can to stand for fairness in public sector employment.
Among the bills signed by Governor Jay Inslee was HB 1558. That's landmark legislation that workers and their union have been working on for several years. It would provide an earlier retirement for workers in state institutions doing dangerous jobs with high rates of injury and assault.
Western State Hospital is probably the most dangerous place to work in the state of Washington. We get assaulted on a regular basis, and it's not a job for old people like me. And so this is going to allow our members to retire at an earlier age when they still have working parts in their body.
House Bill 1558. Under this bill, employees of the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Department of Social and Health Services who provide nursing care to or ensure the custody or safety of offender and patient populations in state institutions and residential sites serving developmentally disabled patients or offenders are eligible for the membership in the Public Safety Employees Retirement System. This will allow workers in these challenging positions to retire earlier, sponsored by Representative Kilduff.
You've been watching Our View, brought to you by the members of the Washington Federation of State Employees. We remind you, when you accept a paycheck for your hard work, you don't give up your rights. Thank you for watching, and stay 100% union strong.
My name is Olesa. I never knew what it felt like to be discriminated against until I found out I was HIV positive. I was working in a cafeteria at the time. One day I was serving lunch when I realized that everybody was looking at me. Suddenly someone said, "She's got AIDS." The words stung me. I was embarrassed. But I kept standing in the food line. Everyone left the cafeteria, some in silence, others laughing. They left the food on the counter, and I was left alone. I wasn't welcome there anymore. He forced me to write a resignation letter. I'm Sharon Stone, and this story is real. End discrimination at work. People living with HIV need jobs, just like everybody else.